Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, a Tasmanian single mother who was forced to live in her car with 4 children is urging the Housing Minister to take a walk in her shoes. While temporary accommodation has been provided for now, she fears her family will be put in danger if they're sent back out onto the streets.
On the eve of her eldest daughter's return to school, Shani Cannell and her young family crammed into a makeshift home.
We were forced to sleep on the side of the road down in Huonville. I couldn't fit the costs for my part of brokerage for the accommodation.
Fearing for the safety of her 4 children aged 8, 3, 1 and her 3-month-old baby.
Holly, the 3-year-old, every week it breaks my heart because she asks me, "Mum, is this our house?" every time they put us in a new hotel.
We spoke to Shani 3 months ago when she was living in a caravan park which the family was recently forced out of. The young mum's now been playing catch-up financially after spending on temporary options.
Walk a week in my shoes. Deal with what I have to deal with on a daily basis. It's just horrible.
An in-between roof over their head at a pub is now being provided, but the opposition says it's far from the permanent housing solution Shani's been waiting for since May.
The government told Shani and told me that they were doing everything that they could to make sure that they were working on long-term housing solutions for Shani, but in the meantime, her situation hasn't gotten better, it's gotten worse.
A letter delivered to the government last week, again expressing that dismay.
Well, this is the real face of people who are struggling in the system, waiting to be housed and being ignored and falling through the cracks.
Unfortunately, Shani isn't alone in her situation. There's currently more than 4,400 families on the social housing waiting list across Tasmania, a number that only continues to grow. The Housing Minister says the government is working with vulnerable people to recognise their needs and the challenges that women may experience in relation to safety, housing, employment, health and wellbeing.
We have $615 million going into affordable housing and we intend to build 3,500 additional houses by 2027.
But for Shani, the anxiety continues.
Are you worried that you'll be put back into that position?
Yes, extremely worried.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
Glenorchy residents were awoken to the sound of an explosion overnight. The loud bang could be heard in the area of Nagle Place at 11 o'clock. A man was rushed to the Royal Hobart Hospital with head and upper body injuries as a result. The incident took place inside the victim's truck where welding equipment and gas was being stored.
There was also a fair amount of debris as a result of the explosion, and that went through a couple of windows, both units nearby the truck, as well as damaging a parked taxi that belonged to one of the occupants.
Investigations are ongoing into the cause of the explosion, but police don't believe it was suspicious. Meanwhile, the search continues tonight across southern Tasmania for a prisoner who escaped custody while receiving medical treatment at the Royal Hobart Hospital. Dale Howlett was last seen running through the Hobart waterfront shortly after 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Police are appealing for more public information in an effort to narrow down his location. Thousands have made the most of the Regatta Day long weekend, turning out in droves for the 148th Hobart Cup. There was something for everyone trackside, with the competition hot on and off the course.
There's nothing like a day at the races. The Hobart Cup has been a fixture on the city's social calendar since before Federation, mixing sport with socialising.
Super nice to get around all the your mates and have a good day.
It's good through the COVID times just to catch up with a few mates, get socialising.
COVID restrictions limiting the crowd to just 5,000 as revellers enjoyed what was on offer.
It's the biggest social occasion on the Hobart calendar. High fashion, fine food and wine, the very best of Tasmania.
The on-track action keeping everyone glued to the course. The stars of the show reaching speeds nearing 60 kilometres an hour. Today's meet a bittersweet one for Barry Hayward, the bookmaker hanging up his bag after more than 50 Hobart Cups. From Piping Lane to WT, he's seen a lot of change, along with many memorable moments.
Funny moments, times when 20-1 pops win and the bookie's supposed to win and we actually have a bad result.
For others, fashions on the field was the main game. Punters showcased their style in one of the day's more competitive contests.
We'll give it a go. All three of us actually are.
He's going to be up there on the stage.
We're pretty excited also about dressing up, but also having a good time with our friends.
But as the clock ticked closer to the big race, all attention turned to bagging a winner.
My boyfriend thinks he knows all the horses.
I'm backing Whitehawk, but there may be some interstate strong challenges as well.
Oh, I can't. Don't let out the secrets. Can't let out the secrets.
The magician never reveals his secrets.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Favourable weather conditions have helped firefighters wrestle back control of a bushfire near Labrina. Crews used machinery to backburn in an effort to box in the blaze and stop any further spread. But the TFS is wary of the fire conditions, which are expected to escalate tonight.
Forest fuels on the ground are very, very dry, and we're seeing the fire take runs at certain times of the day and evening, so it is still difficult to control this fire.
Investigators have deemed the cause of the fire as accidental. A new face sits among Tasmanian Motorsport's Hall of Fame tonight, with champion driver Marcus Ambrose honoured for his rich racing career. The 45-year-old described the honour as a shock, but says he's grateful to sit among the sport's greats.
A modern champion.
This is the moment that Marcus has been waiting for.
Becomes a lifetime legend. Marcus Ambrose joining elite company in Tasmanian Motorsport's Hall of Fame.
Great day for me. I don't look back on my racing very much. It's just moments like this you can reflect on what you've done.
He has done a lot. 2 Supercars championships, an 8-year NASCAR stint steeped in success, and now a behind-the-scenes role mentoring the next generation.
So I've had my time in the sun, and now it's time to give back. I know a lot, and I've experienced a lot in racing and life.
A racing career that took him all over the world, but he never forgot his roots. A proud Tasmanian, he was tagged the Devil Racer.
It's not just your contribution on the track, but it's what you do off the track as well.
The Hall of Fame elevation has extra significance. His father, Ross, was inducted in 2010. They joined Brian and John Bow and Graham and David Parsons as the third father-son pair on the illustrious list.
It's a family sport, absolutely, yeah, and I'm sure they won't be the last father and sons either.
A racing journey that began with Launceston go-karts way back in the 1980s. Today, Marcus Ambrose sits on the pedestal with Tasmania's motorsport greats.
We've got a lot of fantastic history of Tasmanian racing drivers and cars, and I'm just pleased to be part of that fabric.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Valentine's Day is just under 6 hours away, and Tasmanian businesses are rushing to fill masses of orders. But for some, a public holiday nightmare is thwarting what's usually one of the most lucrative trading days of the year.
Florist Kate Seiss loves Valentine's Day. It's usually a one-day windfall wonder, but this one has felt more thorn than rose.
It's a very unusual Valentine's Day for us in the southern of the state.
Because this year it falls on Regatta Day, a public holiday. Extra staff rates and an overall increase to flower prices pose financial headaches, but the biggest problem, they couldn't find any available couriers to deliver.
Usually on Valentine's Day we would send deliveries up to about 150 deliveries, and because we're not doing that, then we're not getting that business. So it's just a tricky thing.
Nevertheless, Kate will open the doors in the hope of luring cashed-up Casanovas. It's a different story at the flower shop in Launceston. They've done a roaring trade. Aside from Mother's Day, this is their busiest and most lucrative time of the year.
Flowers, teddies, chocolates,
chocolate blossoms, balloons.
They've even had to call in the reinforcements. 89-year-old Laurel Shepherd has been helping bunch and wrap some of tomorrow's 200 orders.
When I first started, if you got half a dozen orders for Valentine's Day, that was super.
Her favourite? Roses. Australians are tipped to spend a whopping $415 million this Valentine's Day, and almost 40% will have flowers on their gift list. However, the ACCC has a hit list, specifically online sellers who make bogus claims of using local produce.
Consumers believe they're buying local when they may be tricked into buying from an aggregator.
But no matter where they come from, it's the thought that counts. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
In local cricket now, and South Hobart Sandy Bay have thrashed Glenorchy in the one-day cup final at Blunston Arena this afternoon. Batting first, the Sharks managed to post a sizable target, making 6 for 292 from their 50 overs. Tom Andrews top scoring for them, making 65 from just 66 balls. Glenorchy were no match in reply, unable to put together any lengthy partnerships. South Hobart skittling them for just 145 to win by 147 runs. Ho Khan has blitzed the field to take out the 2022 Hobart Cup at Elwick this afternoon. The Mitchell Friedman trained 7-year-old settled at the back of the pack in the early stages of the race. However, it took advantage of some space on the home turn and galloped away, soundly defeating In a Twinkling and White Hawk.
From a long way back, but Ho Khan, it's Christmas for Ho Khan. Ho, it wins the Hobart Cup. Ho Khan easily by 4 lengths. Second, In a Twinkling. I think White Hawk ran third.
Ho Khan paid $5.90 for the win.
Good evening. A mostly cloudy day across the state today, although it remained dry. Hobart 27, Launceston 25, 22 in Burnie and Devonport 23. King Island recording the highest temperature for the day with 29 degrees. Grove and Bushy Park both 27, 26 at the Friendly Beaches. Flinders Island and Strawn 25, 24 for Smithton. Maria Island 23, St Helens 22, 21 at Low Head and just 13 at Lyawini today. The close-up picture shows areas of high cloud across the state with a frontal cloud band to the west. A large band of cloud associated with a trough and a cold front extends from northwest WA right through to Tasmania. Convective cloud is evident about the top end and the eastern states, with much of the remainder of the country cloud-free. On tomorrow's chart, we can see a high over the Tasman Sea with a cold front to the southeast of Tasmania and a trough over the northeast of the state. That extends back to the northwest of WA. Another high south of WA extends a ridge toward Tasmania. North to northeasterly winds 15 to 25 knots about the east and northeast in the morning, and light and variable winds about the central north with afternoon sea breezes. South to southwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots for other coastal areas, reaching up to 25 knots in the northwest in the evening. Seas 1 to 2 metres. Hobart dropping to 20 degrees tomorrow with drizzle at times, cloudy at Dover 20 and ooze cloudy also 27. A hot and partly cloudy day in Launceston 31, 26 in Devonport partly cloudy and partly cloudy at Scottsdale 28 there. Burnie partly cloudy 26, 23 and cloudy for Strawn, while Stanley will be partly cloudy and 25. To the east coast, St Helens 24 tomorrow, partly cloudy, some possible drizzle at Swansea 21 and Ross 27 with early fog. The UV dropping slightly to 9 tomorrow, which is still very high, and the sun will set at 8:19 tomorrow night. A mainly fine day ahead on Tuesday. Showers developing about the west on Wednesday, mainly fine elsewhere. And on Thursday, showers across the state, more frequently across the west and far south, contracting to the west and far south during the afternoon. A sunny 32 in Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow. Darwin 32 with a shower or two and a possible storm. Mostly sunny in Canberra 29 and Sydney and Brisbane both 28 degrees. Currently it's mostly cloudy in Hobart, 24, Launceston 23, mostly cloudy, Devonport 21, mostly cloudy. And Lou, that's the weekend weather forecast. I hope everyone has a lovely week ahead.
So do I. Thank you for that. And that's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us. Kim and the team will be back with you tomorrow. Stay with us for all of the action in Beijing up next. Good night.